Pixel Hood is an electronic producer and beatmaker from Chicago, Illinois. Pixel has been making a name for himself working with artists in the scene core side of SoundCloud. Hopefully this video helps you learn a little more about Pixel Hood. Pixel grew up in the south side of Chicago. As a kid, he really enjoyed gaming. He played games like World of Warcraft and RuneScape. Being interested in video games exposed young Pixel to electronic music. He would listen to EDM while gaming and watch YouTubers play games with music in the background of the gameplay. Pixel was also very influenced as a kid from playing the game Dance Dance Revolution. Pixel grew up in the 2000s and lived through the original emo/scene time period. He hung around a lot of skaters and rockers. The kids in his neighborhood would throw parties in garages with bands playing. Around 13 years old, Pixel got into music through playing the keyboard. He was into Eurodance music at the time and spent a lot of time on YouTube learning how to play songs he liked. A couple artists Pixel enjoyed at the time include Alice DJ and Bass Hunter. When Pixel was a sophomore in high school, he began to experiment with producing on GarageBand. He was originally producing in the Eurodance genre. Around junior year of high school, Pixel joined a couple of bands playing the synth. One of his friends who was a drummer introduced Pixel to his band. He describes the band's music as one being alternative pop and the other being screamo. With the bands, he mostly spent time in the studio adding synth to the music. He said this experience was helpful to learn the process of recording music. Senior year of high school, Pixel wanted to quit the band and pursue a solo project. He got more into producing and started to DJ at the time. Pixel began DJing at high school parties for friends. At this point, Pixel was listening to big electronic artists at the time such as Skrillex, Deadmau5, and Cascade. On the producing side at this time, Pixel was making beats with a Korg analog synthesizer. He wanted to make music like the big electronic artists he was listening to at the time and was searching for a new DAW to use. He tried the DAWs Reason, then FL Studio, but neither of these clicked for him. Pixel eventually found Ableton and found it to be a good fit. Pixel began putting his music out under the name Keyboard Chris. He said this project was successful. Big DJs such as Diplo and Major Lazer were playing his music. A little later, Pixel and a friend who produced came together and formed a duo titled Round 2. The Round 2 project was successful also, and the duo were playing a lot of shows downtown in Chicago. Eventually though, Pixel got sick of what he was doing and decided to quit Round 2. He said the sound was getting generic, he wasn't making much money, and was sick of having to go out to all the venues with all of his equipment. Pixel always knew he wanted to collaborate with vocalists but didn't know where to start and who to work with. After quitting Round 2, Pixel briefly picked back up Keyboard Chris, but shortly after this he changed his name to Pixel Hood. The year was 2020 and he was learning a lot about the hyperpop scene. He said his friend randomly showed him a hyperpop artist from SoundCloud and it piqued his interest. He also found 100 gecs around this time and dove further into the underground. The first vocalist Pixel worked with was an artist known as Hashi. After working with Hashi for a while, Hashi brought Pixel into the collective titled Ruby Cult. While in the collective, an artist known as Hoshi Star reached out to Pixel looking for scenecore beats. Pixel was still new to the scene and wasn't sure exactly what style beats Hoshi wanted. Hoshi sent Pixel a lot of artists to listen to for a sound reference. Pixel said after working with Hoshi began blowing up, and as a result things started to pick up for the Pixel Hood project. Pixel began hopping around, taking opportunities to work with artists in the scene, and he got better at producing in different styles. A few people he worked with aside from names already mentioned include Horror Movies, maxo.xoxo, Cyrus, Ketseki, and Barely Human. After working with Barely Human and Ketseki on the song Hands Up, Pixel's career received a big boost. Pixel said he had worked with the artist Cyrus a few times when Barely Human reached out to buy a beat. After Pixel listened to Barely Human's music and liked it, he asked Barely Human if they just wanted to collaborate on the song and do splits. This is where the artists formed their working relationship, and Pixel Hood is now part of Barely Human's collective titled Fab Fantasy. Pixel also has his own collective label titled Junk. Junk makes and puts out heavy underground EDM music such as hard techno and trance. Pixel said in his music now he brought back his old inspirations like Y2K and Eurodance with a new twist on them. Pixel hopes to continue to make good music. One of his biggest goals is to find mainstream success and work with bigger industry artists. He's a cool guy and a great artist. Well, that's all for this video. Big shout out to Hopeless for the edit, and please subscribe for more mini documentaries on various underground artists.